Okay, I asked you where in the world this was. I'm going to tell you. Take a look at that. What you can't see is in the distance is a palace. I'm going to tell you all about it now. Right, it's called Alhambra Palace in Granada in Spain. Now this place Granada is quite something else. My friend went there. I think it was found in 711. That's right, 711. I'll leave you some links. And it was a Muslim, Moorish place. But the most important thing I'll get to is the construction of the palace. Now it was fed by water from the mountain above on a perpetual motion. What I mean by that is that the water came down the mountain, then around the palace. There's the palace, a bit more of it. You see these structures here? If you were there, they would look like stone work, right? Just stick with me. You see that? Lattice work, absolutely stunning. There's another one. This is a window on the ceiling, right? High up ceiling. These are the windows inside the palace. Check them out. Right. Now you'd think there was glass in there, wouldn't you? Well, it's not. It's actually, what you're looking at there is, because when my friend told me, I thought, oh yeah, is living, breathing coral. Those windows used to let in air conditioning, and the symbiosis was between the water that ran around the outside, cascading around the building and around the architecture, was absorbed by the coral. The heat was absorbed by the coral from the sun. The sun warmed up the building. The water that flowed around the outside from the mountaintop was absorbed by the structure and then giving off air conditioning inside to the building, breathing life into the building. Not only that, but when the sun fully heated up, or it absorbed the sun's rays, it lit up like a rainbow back in the day, like a rainbow. Now, I've got another photograph here. Also, they've got loads of lattice work inside the palace. When you look at it, you think, how do they do that? Well, what they used to do, because my friend went there, didn't he? Yeah, and he got a special tour, and he was talking to the guide, and the guide told him a lot about how they constructed it. And basically, they got the best joiners in the world, we're told, to come to this place. And they used to make molds, and lay them on the floor and pour in a mixture. So you imagine that on the floor, the window there, yeah? Imagine that in a box. Where's my pencil there? Imagine that on the floor in a box, and then you pour in this mixture and it hardens, and then you take it out. And there's other structures in there, inside the walls. The windows are a good example, but there's also the lattice work, like you see on cathedrals and things like that. So if you was to take that example there of what they can do and just extend it by building bigger moulds where you could pour in the mixture of whatever it was to build structures like a Lego kit. Do you know what I mean? That's possibly one of the ways that they used to build these buildings. Because if you look at the world fairs, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, you'll know what a world fair is back in the day. They used to build complete cities, like just for people to come and have a look and say, look, this is the new, what you can have, kind of thing. And then apparently these were all taken apart, and some of the buildings were shipped to other parts of the world or different destinations. A whole building. A whole building. I just look at it, how do you get a whole building on a boat? But I wouldn't mind betting that some of these structures were made from moulds, big moulds, with the same kind of building technique. So they wouldn't be as heavy, do you know what I mean? And the ones like the House of Commons in London, when you look up at that, you think, how did they carve all that? Well, they didn't. They were moulds, because they're all the same. And when you look at these places, they're always separated in blocks, sections, aren't they? But all that fancy lattice work that you see around Westminster and in London, House of Parliament, I've always fascinated, how did they do that? Did they sit there with a hammer and chisel? No, they were moulds, just like Alhambra. Now, when you go and watch the videos, you'll understand a bit more, because I don't want to go into it too much. But also, that place is famous for is smoking cannabis. That's right, because they grow cannabis up in the hillside. I'll give you the film that refers to this place, Granada. It's called, it's an 80s favourite, The Business. That's right, The Business. Because remember that the mayor is in charge of the town, and you're allowed to sell weed and ship it to England, basically. And in the movie, you know, the big top man says, cannabis is okay. No cocaine. No cocaine. And then the English lads start messing about with the coke, and then well, you know the film. But yeah, that is what that place is about. Because when my friend was there, he obviously knew the guys, top guys, who do this kind of thing. And that's why he was staying there. One of the reasons, but he was there for a wedding anyway. And yeah, the whole town, everybody's in on it. So if you grow your stuff there, you can guarantee you get it back. And also, the mayor of the town, they actually had a stamp on a block of hash with them on it. And I'm going to show you these. These are in Jersey. Quickly, these are in Jersey, England. They're like burial mounds. You've seen these things, and dolomites, I think they are. You know, you put the square thing on top. Yeah, let's see if we can find another one. These ones here. You see these burial things? You've seen them separately. What they are? There you go. Look. Check that out. I urge you to go and check that out. They are burial sites where the family would bury everybody in there, and they used to do it in order, like your granddad first and then your grandma, or they do it absolutely in order. And I think it's to do with reincarnation, and they used to bring them, maybe they come back once you do a full cycle, which is coming up right now, by the way. If anyone old enough might be getting out of here. But there's loads of them. Check them out. They're called that. And they're all over England. And my friend lay in the middle of them. Flipping heck. But then I got to thinking, I thought maybe that's what Stonehenge was. Was a great big burial ground. Because that, as soon as I seen that, I thought, oh yeah. Kind of like dropped in, you know, it dovetailed nicely into the stone circles where they used to probably, if you'd buried like hundreds of thousands of people in there, that would carry some unbelievable power. And the stones that they surrounded them with were special kind of stones. If you hit them with a hammer, they give off a certain note, literally, like that. There's a guy, the African stones are the same, they all give off different notes. You hit them with something, they give off a note, and these were buried in the ground. So you put it all together, the stone circle, the dead people, the souls, the power, the energy, and everything else. Boom, I think there's something in it. So I want to cover them topics quickly before we get to some more serious matters, because I've got to do a song for my, I've only got a couple of minutes. Okay. How about this one? American Pie. Oh. Time ago, I can still remember when the music used to make me smile. And if I had my chance, I could make those people dance, and maybe they'd be happy for a while. Flipping out, struggle this morning. February made me shiver with every paper I delivered. I had news on the doorstep, I couldn't take one more step. I can't remember if I cried. I tried his widow bride. Flipping it back. Right, I totally messed that up, didn't I? You see what I mean? Doing one take, doing it live, it's not easy. I sit and wait. Does an angel contemplate my fate? And do they know places where we go when we're grey and old? So when I'm lying in my bed, thoughts running through my head, and I feel love is dead, I'm loving angels instead. She offers me protection, a lot of love and affection. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm down the waterfall. Wherever it may take me, I know that life won't break me when it comes to call. You won't forsake me. I'm loving angels instead. When I'm feeling weak and the pace slows down that one-way street, I look above and I know I'll always be blessed with love. And as the feeling grows, she brings flesh to my bones. And when love is dead, I'm loving angels instead. I'm loving angels instead. I'm loving angels instead. And we'll just leave it there.